Hey Motorman here, you gotta watch this video to the end. This is Linda. This is just a practice session with her that I did. She called me up, said, I'm gonna go and practice. Do you want to film it? And I said, sure. I went over, filmed it. I was amazed at the difference between now and the first time I met her. In fact, we're gonna put a link below to the initial video I did with her. I think we called it what it looks like when you're afraid to lean the motorcycle. This is very important. Watch what could happen with just a few hours of practice and the proper techniques. Please watch it to the end. Alright, Motorman here. I'm out here with Linda, and this is a practice session for her. It's not a private lesson. She just told me she was going to be here practicing, and if I wanted to come by, I could do so and video her. So this is the intersection we're in right now. She set it up at 22 feet wide by 36 feet long, and as you can see, she's doing much better. Somebody commented on the original video I did with her, and I'll link that video below, where it said this is what being afraid to lean your motorcycle looks like, because she was the poster child for being afraid to lean. And a lot of people were saying, you know, all the YouTube experts, that she needed a smaller bike, she needed to change a handlebar, all the experts, they really had no idea what they were talking about. And whatever good things they mentioned that she should do, of course, I already knew about it because I've been doing this for like 21, 22 years. And of course, for all the critics who said she should stop riding a motorcycle, I'm betting right now she could outride 9 out of 10, or about 90% of the riding public. She got this way through practicing the proper techniques. I think I gave her 2 private lessons, and then she came back to the class. So let's see, we'll think about the hours it took for 8 or 9 hours of training with me, and then what she's done on her own. And as you can see, she's pretty much got it down pat. The technique is excellent. She's turning her head. She's using that clutch and throttle. I'd call that a 19-foot turn. 19 feet. I'd say that is right at 18 feet. Alright, there's Linda in the offset cone weave. I got the gates narrowed down to, I think, about 5 feet, 5 or 6 feet. I might put the scene from the first time she tried this with the gates, I think, at 20 feet wide. The very first time she came to the class with this bike. And you'll see an astounding difference. This is an important exercise because it forces you to get the bike from full lean left to full lean right quickly. That's something you may need to avoid an obstacle, or on a severely winding road. You go up to the Dragon, you're going to find turns just as severe as this. Here's Linda when she came to the very first class with me. We had, I don't know, good 8 or 10 people at the class, and I had the gates probably about 15, maybe even 20 feet wide to help some of the slower students. And as you can see here, she has no conception of how to use her head and eyes, the friction zone. She's going way too slow. I mean, you couldn't possibly do more wrong than what she's doing here. But what she did have was the will to succeed. She wanted to learn how to really ride that motorcycle, and it's my job to show her that. And it took, I think we did 2 private lessons, and then she came back to a regular class. Improvement was just outstanding. And as you'll see in this rest of this video, even practicing on her own, she did a fine job. some even worse. And of course on the Dragon, if you don't make it, you're going down the mountain, off the road. Here, there's nothing to hit. It's actually scraping the pegs now. So she's leaning that bike to about its limit, about 32 degrees. Yeah, you can go a little bit further than 32 degrees because the pegs will fold up just a bit. But she's pretty close to the limits. If she can do that every single time, scraping them all the way through, she'd have as close to perfection as we can get, as we can expect. And really putting that bike over. The fear of the lean is just about gone. How did she do it? How did she overcome that fear? A little bit at a time. Filming this from the bed of my pickup truck to give you a little bit better angle, because I know it's difficult to see these little cones on this washed out parking lot. But like I said, this is a practice session for her. It's not a one-on-one lesson for me. I'm saying as little as I possibly can. Good, guys. Hey, girls. Especially considering how horrific she was and total lacking in skill when she first came to me. Proving that if you got the determination, if you got the will, no matter how bad you suck at first, you can do it. Because if you're a quitter, you get discouraged easily, yeah, you'll never get it. You'll never be a skilled rider. It takes time, it takes practice. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. As long as you're doing perfect practice. If you're practicing all the wrong things, you'll get really good at being a lousy rider. If you practice the proper techniques, you'll get good at those proper techniques. I like what she's doing with the throttle. At first, Linda was scared to death of that throttle. She thought it was an IED from Iran about to explode in her hand. That's how bad it was. But now she's even getting a little jiggy with it. Occasionally scraping the pegs. It's a beautiful thing to see. That bike's really leaning over. Almost to its limits, and sometimes right to its limits. Cutting this big circle short, but that's okay because, you know, this is a 30-foot circle. So there's a lot of room for error. As the circles get smaller, there's less room for error. So for all the YouTube experts saying the handlebars are too big, the bike is, the feet are out too far, they would name it everything that was wrong, but as if she had a choice of, you know, any of a dozen motorcycles, little bikes that she could bring to learn the techniques. This is what she had, so this is what she learned on. And here's proof it can be done. If you got the will, I got the way. If you like these videos, I hope you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Click that notification bell so every time I come out with a new video, you'll get to see it right away.